Hey everyone, April here, also known as T-Bones with the Laughing Dragon Merchant design. I want to start off by saying a couple things with this video. I did end up losing about 2 hours of the recording. Apparently my OBS studio did not start recording, which is awesome. So you only get like the first, I want to say hour and a half, 2 hours worth of work on this piece, which isn't bad because it does mainly go over how I do my thumbnailing process and how I lay out the character themselves so I can start designing costumes without having to worry about like anatomy and faces and stuff, which is a heavy use of the symmetry tool and blobs pretty much. Another thing is if you're looking at this video and you're thinking, oh wow, I think I've seen this video before, like having a little bit of deja vu, it's because I did post it before. And we had this wonderful background music of just static. Turns out that I'm still getting used to this program and it had not selected the proper microphone. So technically I did all the talking, it just didn't actually record anything. So I just looked like an idiot talking with no recording. So some of you who were probably viewing that video are probably like, what commentary? Anyways, going over this, I start off typically, well, I try to freehand some of the poses in this one. I wanted to go for, I don't know, something kind of dynamic or cool or some kind of like three-quarter shot. And then I realized I was focusing too hard on like anatomy and making sure things looked right and da 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 da. And I decided to switch over to the symmetry tool. The symmetry tool is really freeing, honestly. I don't have to worry about things matching up. I can create a very even costume going on with that one. The idea behind this character is I wanted him or her or it or whatever it is to have a more childlike appearance. It started off with figures that looked very adult-like, maybe even teenager-like, and I wasn't quite liking that one, so I messed with the proportions a bit, made the head larger and thinner limbs, but kind of like awkwardly proportioned, so he kind of has that gangly kid look to him. And I worked on that, and I really did like the idea of it being like this kid-like character, which seems to be a running theme in a lot of my character designs, apparently, is kid-like creepy characters that you interact with. So, design-wise, I had a Chinese dragon for the merchant stand, a stone Chinese dragon. And I'm like, wow, that's really cool. I want to kind of stick with this theme here. Wouldn't that be fun? So, me being the culturally aware person that I am, decided that what goes better with a Chinese dragon than a Japanese inspired outfit? I realized this about halfway into the design process when I already chose two outfits that I really enjoyed. So that was a little awkward. I'm sitting there looking at it, I'm like, Chinese dragon is Chinese. Ninja is Japanese. Not really interchangeable, but here I am. I liked the outfits too much, and honestly, I think I started pulling away from the Japanese influence, but then I went and put a Kitsune mask on him. And so naturally, I went right back into the whole influence of whatever that was, I guess. I don't know. The point being, pretty much, is I ended up going with kind of a mismatch, I guess. I wanted the idea of this character, you couldn't really see their face. So you can't see if they're looking at you or if there's a face even underneath this mask. It's kind of like this mystery, just like the dragon itself is. So some kind of like just quiet character, not one you really talk to or interact with, but just kind of like off-putting. And I thought a Kitsune mask would be fitting because Kitsunes are notoriously mischievous. And that's what I wanted to go with for this character. I wanted a nice mischievous character. I wanted you to look at this character and think like, oh man, he might be a little bit of a rascal. Which kind of fits in with the potions he sells that have all the question marks on them because even he's not sure what they do. Or maybe he is sure and he just won't tell you kind of thing. So I thought Kitsune Mask worked well. I did experiment with quite a few different masks though. I want to say I tried like 5 different ones or so. I know I had the Kitsune mask, an Oni mask, a Tengu mask, a dragon one, and then I also did a couple geisha inspired ones, I want to say. I was really kind of stuck between the Kitsune and the Tengu. The Tengu are from Japanese mythology. They are known to be shapeshifters and they can take on forms that they use to kind of torment those who have done wrong. I want to say, like those of hubris or those of like overwhelming pride or something like that. I can't remember the exact Japanese Mythology. I'll have to get a more in-depth look into that one for you guys. When I was drawing this, I was doing all kinds of research and I had it totally in my head. And today has been a long day, so all of that research just went poof right down the drain. Especially because I'm re-recording this, so technically I'm recording this like almost 2 days after I put this video out, a day or so. Anyways, I might go back and do the Tango design. I might do it with something else though, not quite with this character, even with this thought process. I was thinking about doing more merchants, but I might take a step back from the whole merchant thing and do a little bit more different stuff on that one. But it is something I do want to revisit because the Tengu masks are hilarious. They have like these really long noses, and I thought that would be a lot of fun to draw. Oni mask was kind of cool, but at the same time, I felt like it was too intimidating. Like it didn't fit in with the character at all. Though, I mean, I did play with the idea a little bit. The idea of a very small, thin figure wearing a very intimidating mask was kind of tempting, to be honest with you. I thought that'd be a really great contrast to character and kind of ironic. But in the end, like I said, I went with the Kitsune mask because I felt like it exemplified the character the best. In the painting itself, when I finally come down with the design, what I do is those are just my sheets. Those have a whole bunch of notes on them, scribbles and random ideas that I have down, and I usually pick a few that I like and I mix and match them until I get something I do like, and then I move on to what's called the final pose. This is what's going to be selling my character. This is what's going to really kind of give off that personality, that feel that you should be getting with this character. I had a little bit of issue deciding what pose to choose. He is a vendor, a merchant of sorts, um, but at the same time, he has this mystery about him. And so I needed something that was a big enough, broad enough pose that if I wanted to make a 3D model from this or give it to someone to make a 3D model from, they could do it. But at the same time, showing off the character itself. So I went with this 3/4 view with the merchant holding up a potion and then gesturing with their hand almost as if they're trying to sell you the product. They're trying to show you this, or maybe kind of give some kind of spiel, or I don't know, maybe just even holding it up to the light. So I went with that pose. I did end up taking reference photos, which I do recommend you do. Reference photos really can help out with a pose and getting an idea of how a hand should be or how an arm should go, or even just generally how a pose is going to look. So I literally wrapped a scarf around my head and I got some baggy sweatpants that I tied off at the ankles to replicate the baggy pants look. And I took a whole bunch of pictures, and so now I have a whole gallery full of me dressed like that in different poses. And I find it kind of funny, to be honest with you, because when I was in middle school, I really got into cosplaying, but I didn't have the money nor the talent to make said cosplays. So naturally, you kind of just look for whatever you have around the house, and you're like, I'm this character. And it's always kind of cringy to look back on, you know, like I don't know, you throw on a color of orange and you put on a blonde wig and suddenly you're Naruto or something like that. So that's what it kind of reminded me of. Like, I look like a total dweeb in these things, and it was really hard to keep a straight, serious face to do this because there was a couple times I almost backed out going like, I can't do this. This is just, oh God. But, I mean, I have to get over my own insecurities to make sure that this piece worked out. So, luckily, those photos will never make public. I'm deleting them as soon as we speak, but pretty much take reference photos. It really does help. You don't have to show them to anybody. You can ask a friend to do it. You can do it yourself if you can, but take reference photos. It really does help. Now, obviously, I'm not a dude, and I'm gonna be honest with you guys, not that thin either. So I had to take a little bit of creative license with this one and slim him down. Overall, though, the design came out pretty well, I like to think. He has this nice kind of aristocratic look to him, but also the feeling of a traveler who has these strange wares and have seen strange lands. I'm really happy with the overall design. It is a shame I lost those 2 hours of work, but all you guys missed out on was me just fixing it up and cleaning up lines and stuff, so you didn't really miss out on much. Overall, I think these two go together pretty well. That's it for that one. I'm going to be starting a new project, probably weapons design coming up next. So make sure you subscribe and follow me on other social media sites such as Twitter, Instagram, and Tumblr. If you have any questions, feel free to ask, or any suggestions, go ahead and tell me. I would love to hear them. I hope to see you guys all in the next video, and have a great day. Bye!